Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Alicia, I'm an illustrator and I draw all things fantasy and fashion. Today I'm just going to do a little Q&A and answer some questions that you guys sent through on Instagram. So the first question is, how are you? I am good. I've been really focusing on work and if you saw my last video, which was a vlog, you know I did something really exciting for work, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, I'm just focused at the moment, just taking things off my list and getting stuff done. Next question is, what GSM is the paper you print on, and do you do any editing after you've scanned? So the GSM that I print on is 276, and if you don't know what that is, it's the thickness of the paper. The GSM is the thickness and weight of the paper. Yeah, I really like that weight because it's not too thick and it's not too thin either, and it's really similar to the paper that I draw on, which is what I wanted and what I was looking for when I picked the paper for my prints. I wanted something really similar to the texture and weight of what I actually draw on. Do you do any editing after you've scanned? No, I don't really do any editing after I've scanned. I know if you watch videos of other people making their art prints, some people will do a lot of post-editing. But I don't really. My scanner is really good quality, so my drawings basically come out exactly as they are in real life from the scanner. The only thing I might do is put it in Adobe Lightroom and make some changes to the colouring. I might turn up the vibrance a little bit, but that's really all I'll do. Have you always been an artist? I love your style so much. It's inspired me so much. Oh, thank you. Have I always been an artist? I think I'll answer like in terms of my job. No, so I actually did like fashion marketing at university. After uni, I did an internship in marketing, and I thought I was going to have a career in creative marketing. I never thought that being an illustrator or an artist was going to be possible for me. So no, I haven't always been an artist for my job, but I have always drawn. So growing up as a kid, I always drew. I have lots of drawings from when I was younger. And then I did art at school, and then I did an art foundation degree before my fashion marketing degree. So I have always been making art. How long does it usually take you to finish a drawing? Because we only ever see the short bits. Yeah, so my videos that I post of my drawings are normally about a minute long, which is what you guys will see on social media. It really depends. So I can give an example. This I think was probably around 7 to 8 hours. I don't know because I don't time myself, but this was probably about 7 to 8 hours. Like Enchanted Forest, that probably took me around 20 hours, I would say. But that's never in one go. So I normally do my drawings over at least a few days, if not sometimes a few weeks, just depending on how much time I have, because with running a business, I'm not just drawing every day. Actually, I get that question from people that I meet in real life, and you tell them you're an illustrator, and then they say, oh, so you just sit around and draw all day. Actually, it's quite the opposite. So I'm like, packing orders a lot of the time, answering emails, working on my website. My website's all made and designed by me, editing content, yeah, loads of different things. So the hours that I spend drawing are never in one go, so it'll be like a few hours a day. So yeah, the drawings probably take anywhere between 7 to 20 hours each time. Can you do tutorials? Love your work. Thank you. Tutorials are a bit of a difficult one because I make a lot of mistakes as I'm working. So as I work, it's a lot of trial and error. And I think there's no like formulaic way to the way that I personally draw. But I could try like how to draw a face or how to draw a body or something like that. I would just need to figure out how I would do it. Next question is, how did you find your style? I actually found my style at uni. When I was doing my final project, I discovered fashion illustration. And before that, I would just make art. So at school, I studied fine art, and I would really just be drawing anything and everything. I never really liked painting. I've always just liked drawing, and I would just draw anything really, but I never really felt like I identified with it. I would just be drawing for the sake of it. Whereas when I found fashion illustration, I felt like I really connected with what was on the page. And especially now where I've moved more into like my own made up illustrations, where everything is completely my own world and made up by me, I really connect with what's on the page, and I feel like what's up here comes out onto the page. So it's really me in the drawings, and that's how I feel I connected with my style. And once I started doing that and thought, how can I expand that and push it even further? And that is how I found my style, by being niche and just working it and keeping going with it. And once you feel like you connect with what's coming out into your artwork, I think that's how you know you've found your style, at least for me anyway. Also, I think medium is important because, well, the next question is, what pens do you use? And I use Copic markers. Probably my most asked question, Copic Sketch. And once I found these markers, it really changed the trajectory for me. I always loved drawing, but I didn't love painting. I liked colour pencils. But once I found the markers, it really changed and leveled up my work, and I just loved using them, and I loved how they looked on the page, more so than anything I'd ever used before. So I think the markers really helped me find my drawing style as well. Yeah, Copic sketch markers come in, I think you can buy them in packs of like 72. And I think there's 4 sets of 72. So once you have all 4, then you have all the colours, if I'm correct. So I have 3 sets of 72 Copic markers. They're very expensive, they're a big investment, but you can buy the ink refills. So you can keep these markers forever and just keep refilling them with ink, which is really good. I'll do a couple more questions, but I don't want this video to be too long and boring. How did you become an illustrator? I just said I was an illustrator. Basically. That's it really. Once you tell yourself and you believe it yourself, and you start living in a way and doing things that are in line with that, then you are. So I didn't do an illustration qualification. Obviously I have my art degrees. They didn't focus on illustration. I'm quite self-taught in illustration. I researched myself, I cultivated my creative style as an illustrator, and I think once you start getting paid for it and you start seeing money, that's when you believe it more, because you're like, oh, okay, someone else believes in me and sees my worth as an illustrator, so it helps you to then believe it. It's not really about the money, it's just about seeing some kind of worth assigned to your work, which it always helps me believe in it more and give me more of a purpose, because I'm like, oh hey, someone else loves this, so I should keep doing it. How do you make money as an illustrator? So my main source of income is my shop, where I sell my prints and my original artworks, my bookmarks, and then I do calendars, which are a seasonal product. Those are the main things on my shop that I sell, so that's my main source of income. I also do commissions, which are private illustrations for people. I make a little bit of money from TikTok if my videos do well, but that's very unreliable and very up and down. I make money when I work with brands and maybe do an illustration for them. So yeah, at the minute my main source of income is my shop, my commissions and client work. How do you avoid artist burnout? Normally if I'm burnt out, I start overthinking stuff, and then I start thinking, what is even the point in me drawing? So if I get into that spiral, then I just try and like cut all the noise, and I just think, right, I'm gonna ignore all that overthinking and just draw whatever I want to draw. And most of the time, actually, the content that I post that is just not had loads and loads of thought into it, I've just thought, okay, I'm gonna have fun and I'm just gonna make whatever, does really well. So I think coming back to the reason why you do it in the first place, which is because it's fun and you love it, normally helps me to like move away from the burnout and the overthinking and just coming back to drawing because it's fun. So to close the video, I thought I could just give like a couple of pieces of advice for things that I've learned from my 2 years this month as a full-time illustrator. The first thing is everything takes time. So just to be really, really patient. Sometimes it will take, months and months for someone to maybe buy a piece of art that you've made, or something that you make might get ignored at the time, but months down the line, something's going to come from it. I have people that sometimes scroll right back to the very beginning of when I first started posting my artwork, and they say, oh, can I buy a print of this? And I would never even dream of selling prints of that artwork that I was posting years and years ago, but they love it and they want it. So sometimes things come to fruition months or even years later. So if you keep putting the hard work in, something is going to come, something will come of it. One of the main things that can kill my creativity is comparison. So I try to not look at too much content from other artists online. And I only follow people that I know inspire me and don't make me compare my work to theirs. Because I can fall into a hole of thinking, well, their work is so much better than mine, I just shouldn't even bother. And that is not a good way to think when you're an artist. You need to see the worth in yourself and your work. I try and stay away from comparing myself. Sometimes it's good to not be a perfectionist about what you post. Not all the time. I think you need to keep yourself to a standard and not just post whatever, but people like to see your growth as an artist. And also sometimes I might not love a drawing, and then people might go crazy for it and they absolutely love it, and that is, you know, a gift that I can give to them. So sometimes just post it and try not to think about it too much. I think that went over quite a lot of stuff. If you have any more questions, you can leave them in the comments. And I hope this video wasn't really boring. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.